And I want to share this with people. Doesn't matter what difficult conditions we are in. If we have inside the hope and the faith and courage, we would be able to achieve any goals in our life.
Welcome to Zestful Aging, where I talk with fascinating, talented, and inspiring guests who reflect on the adventures and challenges of aging and who are living their lives with vibrance and purpose. I'm your host, Nicole Christina, psychotherapist, writer, and fellow Zestful Ager. I want to invite you to my brand new free webinar, Zestful Aging. Here's how you do it. You can sign up at NicoleChristina.com. And as always, I appreciate your feedback. Last week, we spoke with Gary Glazner, and we actually sang along with Gary. He is the founder of the Alzheimer's Poetry Project, and he does beautiful work with helping people with dementia and Alzheimer's do some poetry, and it's so interesting to see the way he brings joy in people's lives. And then next week, we're going to be speaking with Marianne Succo, who is a nurse and an author. She's part of the collaboration of All's Authors. Well, I have my Jack Russell Terrier Sparky right beside me and my coffee in my hand. So let's begin. Margaret Zhao is the author of the award-winning memoir, Really Enough, a true story of tyranny, courage, and comedy. And it charts her daunting struggle for survival, freedom, and forbidden love as an enemy of the state under Chairman Mao. Her natural sense of humor has led her to become a stand-up comedian and motivational speaker, applauded by audiences of all ages. Margaret lives in San Francisco and has been actively teaching complementary medicine and sharing Buddhist philosophy. When is your next performance, comedy performance?
I just had one February the 2nd.
And was it with your friends?
No, it's performing for like 500 audience in the auditorium. And then it's for the celebration of Chinese New Year. I'm just one of the performers.
Yes. And did you talk about Chinese New Year, or did you talk about your experiences in China?
So then the stand-up comedy is just to do the jokes to make people laugh. And then I did co-host one February 10th with the theater next city. And then I talked about Chinese New Year, the origin of it, and then sung Chinese Peking opera. And kind of entertain them.
Is it an important year for Chinese New Year?
Every year is important.
Right. Okay, in different ways.
Different ways, exactly. Yes.
And what is this year? Tell us about what we can expect.
This year is the year of the pig.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 12 years as a cycle.
I see.
And the year of the pig focusing on building business, symbolizing wealth.
So probably a lot of people are excited about that.
Yes. I think every year we can focus a theme, and then we can achieve things start from our mind, right? Belief and hope.
And are there prayers specific to each year or each animal? How does that work?
Prayers
or songs?
Oh, okay. So we don't have that actually. Yes, it's just very much celebrated at the beginning of the lunar calendar. Yeah, it's
Chinese.
It's a little bit 1 month later than the regular New Year. So it's Lunar New Year. And then now in America, so many people, cities and organizations embracing Chinese New Year. And then now we don't even say Chinese New Year much, and we would rather be inclusive, saying like Lunar New Year.
Oh, Lunar New Year, I see. And so what is a typical celebration for Lunar New Year and Year of the Pig?
It's a really very exciting traditional way in China. And you have lion dancing and a dragon competing with performers, and people have to be together the New Year Eve to eating that big feast like our Thanksgiving dinner here. And then the first day of the New Year, you stay home and with the family. And the second day, you go out to visit your immediate relatives, like in-laws. And then the third day, you can start to visit friends.
There's a lot of cooking, yes?
The cooking is done Chinese New Year Eve. And then after that, you have plenty of prepared food. So cooking not important at the New Year time, because you have abundance already.
I see. You have leftovers.
Leftovers, yes.
Nice leftovers. Did you cook, Margaret? Did you make food?
Actually, no, because I don't even feel that kind of atmosphere. I'm vegetarian, not much to cook. Yes. Usually I ask them, I say, when is the New Year Eve and when is the New Year Day? But other Chinese people around here, they kind of more emphasizing on that eating part, and it's not. Since I never had a lot of food growing up, it's not my emphasis.
So maybe we should talk about growing up, because I know our audiences want to hear about your experience as a child in China growing up. It sounds like in like an upper middle class family, your dad was a businessman. Is that right?
Yes.
And you had a nice house?
Oh no, not just a nice house. They had a mansion. They were like the number one in the equivalent of America is like the county.
Oh, really?
Yes. In that county, they were the landmark. They are oil factory, cooking oil factory.
Right. And your family employed a lot of people to work for the factory.
Yes. And they were not called like they are the employees, they are the servants. They were called like respected term, like masters, like a 师傅. Yes. If you know they were working there, and then when they are in the scale, and then they are even called the 师傅. It's like the leader, the master.
I see.
Very much respected.
Skilled. I see. And what kind of cooking oil is this? What were you growing to turn into cooking oil? Is it soybean?
At that time, I wasn't born. I just know the cooking oil.
Yeah.
Probably like a sesame oil, very typical.
I see. Sesame oil. And so you were born and you had a lovely home with family. Your mom had treasures and jewelry, and then talk a little bit about the change, the political change, and the impact on your life and your family.
When I was born, they were sent to the country with the peasants, and I didn't see any of their wealth or anything. I just heard from family. Yes, they were. My mother was educated at her age, and so my father was business like inherited from the grandparent. And soon after the communists took over, and then anybody who was wealthy was regarded as exploiter of the people. So they became the enemy of the state. So when I was born, and they were the enemy already, and I was the little enemy.
You were little enemy. And I remember in your book this incredible scene of the soldiers coming in and you were hiding.
That's not, they were, that was like after the liberation already. It was after, and that was the last home we had. Okay, other things taken already. And then so it's the last house that they needed to take away. And then so that was the time we were sent to the country.
With no country skills, right? I mean, you did not know how to farm for food. You were, would it be similar to someone in the suburbs or in the city, relying on buying things for your eating, your health, your well-being, your livelihood, all of this, and now all of that's gone. You're sent to the country to sort of do the best you can with no skills.
No skill. It's just really, you can't survive without the skill. And you have to know the season. You have to know what kind of plants, what kind of things you grow with what. So this is why they couldn't survive well, always on the living in fear. There is no meal next day.
There's so many descriptions in your book, Margaret, of you boiling weeds.
Yes, I'm still good at that. That is a skill.
They call that foraging now, but that's a little different than what you were doing. You had no choice.
Exactly. At that time, this is why even now I'm affected by the weather. When the weather is like raining a long time, I start to have this nameless fear. Like I figured it out finally, depression. Because I always worried when it was raining, because I still had to go to the fields to go to look for food. And collect the wild plants and bring home. So very, very hard in the muddy fields. So you don't have proper things to wear. You are wet, and the muddy, all that is really hard.
And you were so cold and damp.
Yes. And when you go to the rice paddy to look for that particular plants for food called bitter yellow flower plants. And then it's very muddy, and when you step on it, your feet would sink deep, and then you had to pull very hard out of the mud for your next step. That's deep in my brain.
And you were a little girl.
Yeah, about 6, 7 years old. Yeah.
And did some of the people who were on the farms, I mean, there really weren't farms, they were like shanties, did they help you learn how to forage, or did you have to figure it out all by yourself?
Help in what? In doing what?
To show you which plants were edible, or how to, what you could use for starting fires. Did anybody show you how to survive?
I don't remember anybody showed us, because you have a little patch at your backyard, because we were living in someone else's house. So then you supposed to grow your own. Who would have time to come to teach you? I think maybe there were friends and showed you how to do. But then this is a long term. It doesn't just grow tomorrow. You have to know how to care for it too. Like the cabbage, I remember that we tried to grow the cabbage, right? You say you go to the store, it's rounded, but we were growing it refused to like grow together to wrap. So then we didn't know what to do. And then my mother and I, we would try to fold it in with our hands and put a little rock over it. So wanting this to wrap like the regular, but it just wouldn't. Because it didn't have fertilizer. It didn't grow correctly.
Right. What were there people? I mean, was this used as regular farmland? Was this even was there enough sun? I know there wasn't fertilizer, but our history in the U.S. is giving Native people the worst land, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is the worst land that you were on.
I don't know if they gave because it's attached to that house you live in. It's not they are assigned to you. But what they assign to you is that you go to work in the commune.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's my sisters. They're older than me. They were sent to work in the commune in the fields. But I was too young at the time, so they were working day and night and without earning any points to bring home food. So you rely on the backyard to grow the food, and the backyard barren.
Barren.
So at the end of the year, we owe the government, the commune, because so every a month we didn't have food, right? We would go to advance a little rice or a little sweet potatoes. And then you would advance it, and then you would keep going, and then in the end your points earned is less than the food you advance.
You were in debt.
Yes. So they even joked once. I still remember that. My father was at the home, and then the people passing by, why don't you at the end of the year you go to get your harvest, right? Get allocation of you deserve from your working points. So that guy was yelling out, joking to my father, hey, why don't you come to get your allocation? And then so you have the paper, the receipt of you borrowed, you can come to get that. So just joking with him, you come to get how much debt you have.
Oh my goodness. It's so interesting. I mean, were people in that situation, your family, did anybody talk about the politics and the hypocrisy? Was that a subject of conversation?
Oh, no. You only say Chairman Mao, long live Chairman Mao. And you cannot talk about anything secretively. You could only secretively whisper. If anybody heard reported you could be dead.
I see. Did you, at this age when you were, this farming, if you want to call it that, it's really not, but foraging for survival, did you have any friends, Margaret, that you could be with or share the experience with?
Actually, at that time, I'm all the similar kids kind of bully me all the time because I was the enemy of the state, right? They call me ugly names, like I was the landlord hog because we were the landlord classification. This is the worst classification. So that was very hard. So also it kind of gave me the inspiration to be standing up against them.
So because you had been successful, you were seen as like a big time exploiter, and that was the worst possible thing you could do in communism.
That's what the government said, right?
So
then all the people, they were poor. Majority people, they were working for other people, for the landlord, right? They were liberated and they were given the land, they were given the houses. Of course, they were happy. In the end, the land is still taken away from them. The government took away in the end. But at that time, they were celebrating, happy. Even now, people are still very grateful to Chairman Mao because they brought them wealth in their way, gave them power.
Mm-hmm. I see. So, the book is so fascinating, and it's so, you can just really imagine so clearly this life of desperation and starvation, even trying to figure out what you could burn to keep the fire going because there was not a lot of wood.
Yes, that was really hard because I was still very small, and then I had to carry the buckets. It's kind of big with the pole, and then I would dig up all the roots from the cottonwoods,
Mm-hmm.
and then left in the ground really hard to dig up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would do, to go to the fields to dig up all those people leftover things to bring home to use. And otherwise you cannot cook even the weeds, right?
Right. And then eventually you went to work in a brick factory.
That was such an advancement in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It was very labor intensive.
Yes.
Very, very hard, and your face, your body covered with dust.
Mm-hmm.
And still pretty happy, making like one yuan a day. 1 yuan a day, probably equivalent of 25 cents.
Mm-hmm. And you were with your sister at that time, or she had already started teaching?
My older sister, the double happiness, she was teaching. She was teaching in the big city, and I was the free babysitter for years. And then I kind of escaped from that, and then I went to the factory, and working in fear. It was like an illegal immigrant.
Yes. And so you did the bricks, and you still lived with your mom at that time?
No, it's very far from my parents at the time. My parents had to be with my brothers in the country.
Yes.
Yeah, in the village there. So I really didn't have a place to live with them. So then I lived in the factory. You share one small room with about 8 people. There are like bunk beds up and down. So live there.
How did you keep going on after this kind of life? And I have to assume that there was hopelessness.
Yes, that's a very good question. I even still going back, how could my mother continue the way she did? It's just unbelievable, the condition. Not only the poverty, it also the discrimination against you.
Mm-hmm.
For doing nothing wrong, but you were the one step on the ground and put 1,000 feet on. That's the slogan.
Mm-hmm.
Down with the landlord, right? We were the worst enemy. I think my mother, her belief that doing good things, we didn't do anything wrong, gave her the confidence in her heart that she felt that there will be better. Life would be better. You just have to continue. You look forward, you will have that dangling earrings someday.
The dangling earrings. Oh, that's such a beautiful image in your book.
Thank you. So
what does that mean? Could you talk a little bit about, because our audience may not have read your book yet, although I'm sure they will want to, talk about what dangling earrings mean to you.
Yes, that was one day. It's in a hot summer. and the mosquitoes all over the place. And then we went to the levee to cool in the evening, and so under the moon. And so mother suddenly recalled her old times when she was well off, and then she asked me, have you ever seen dangling earrings? And she measured with her fingers this long in your ears, and then like when you turn your head, and they would dangle like that. So she showed me her head turning. I said, no, I never saw that, but I would go to the plants, the sweet leaf that with a stem. I would break that with that little skin attached, and then you put on your ear, and then you pretending you have the earrings that dangle, right? So I said, I just only have the pretending a sweet potato
sweet potato earrings.
Yes, earrings. I said I never saw the real dangling earrings. She said, oh, I had those, but someday, and you would have them. And she just painted that picture. Someday I would have it, and then so the next thing, we don't even have dinner tomorrow.
But there was something in her faith and she's looking forward, and her belief that knowing this is terrible, knowing we have no earrings, but one day it will be different for us.
Yes, that one day. Yes. So
and I'm sure that it had a massive influence on you.
Yes. So this is why when I came to USA, and I did go to the mall to get my what do you call that? Get my
ears
punched the
ears. Yeah.
And then I had that, and then for a long time, and then I was able to put long dangling earrings. So even now, whenever I go to the book clubs, and I would put on the dangling earrings, and then all the readers, they immediately would recognize that. Okay, dangling. I see your dangling earrings.
It means so much to you, such a symbol of resilience.
Yes, and hope.
Hope.
And dream.
Oh my goodness.
See, important events I would put on. It's just the honor, the dream, and the hope, and the faith. And I want to share this with people. Doesn't matter what difficult conditions we are in. If we have inside the hope and the faith and courage, we would be able to achieve any goals in our life. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter is work, job, and love, family, and all that we can achieve.
And Margaret, talk about you being accepted at the university, which was such an impossible goal because you had not been in school.
Yes.
How did you think? How on earth did this happen?
Again, it was really courage. And the formal education was third grade. And then the Cultural Revolution started, and then I couldn't go back to school. And so then we were not allowed to go to high school because we were the enemy of the state. I couldn't go to high school. Other kids my age all could go. And even my older sister couldn't go to middle school. And she became a peasant when she was 14. So
So you were being punished, continue to be punished and discriminated because you had been landowners and now you were the worst devils.
Yes, exactly. It's the whole society should regard you that way. So I couldn't go to college, but my mother never allowed us girls to do the girl things like embroider, like knitting, like sewing. She wouldn't. she would make you read the book. And at that time, I didn't even have books at home to read. And then there were friends, a relative with a radio. And then my mother would go borrow and let me listen to it. And later, after you borrow, that's really such an asset. It's like you own an airplane, and then they wouldn't want to let you use long, right? They had to take it back. So I just
they were so rare.
Much to do. And then so my education stayed, but my mother's talking to me. I learned a lot of stories and then the fairy tales and all those things kind of helped form my literature brain, actually, and the idioms and all that. So when Chairman Mao died, and then Deng Xiaoping took over, and he decided to abolish the discrimination and the classification. And so we suddenly freed from being the enemy of the state. That was such an unbelievable moment, and in the book, and I wrote details on that.
And did it stick? I mean, did people in the culture forgive, or did they say, well, that's the law, but I still discriminate?
That's the law. And then they were kind of following the leaders. What the leaders said, they just would do. The leader said, okay, now everybody can go to college. And then you could go to college, but now everybody has to take the national test.
Right.
So then I had the courage and the dream. I wanted to be a teacher. The only way you become a teacher is to go to college, right? But I only had a third grade education. How could I compete with high school students? It was impossible.
Well, not only third grade education, but you had been starved.
Yeah, I was, but then that wasn't like a norm to me. I didn't even know that there was such a thing as a food that abundance. Just you thought that you were supposed to be hungry.
That was normal. I see.
Yeah, and then other people would have more food. We admired them, but for us, that has been the way. You worry about the next day, no food.
Always the next meal.
Yes, and then just never would think that there was one day your bucket would be full of rice. That would be like you become like a billionaire.
Oh my!
So it's impossible that you don't even think of that. If you have a little, then you have tomorrow you have food, you feel good at the time. So we didn't even know we were in such poverty.
But you were trying to make up for all these lost years of education, and your brain didn't have enough fuel, yet you still persevered. It's unbelievable.
I was fainting all the time.
You were fainting.
When you squat, we squat, and then you stand up, and then you black out for a few seconds. One time I was on a cross river ship, and then I had to get off the ship on the deck, right? And then I was fainting, and then I had to cross and then hold the post of the deck for a few seconds. That was my teenager time.
Yes.
So going to college was a real risk. I was just fantasizing and just stupid and to even think of that. And who are you? Not even a high school student. Even high school student, you had only 6% of chance to be successful. And how dare you think of yourself that big? So it's just really a lot of discrimination and just people laughing at you and saying bad things behind you.
Right.
If you didn't, if I failed, and then I couldn't be there because totally people would continuously ridicule.
Mm-hmm. What did your mother say to you about the discrimination and the ridicule?
They just know it was injustice. They always had that in their mind, and whispered that there was injustice. We didn't exploit the people, and just always talk about what the charity they did, like during the famine, and then after natural disaster, no harvest, and the people would line up, and they would give them cooking oil free and food free.
Your family would help the community.
Yeah, that's the way you can say community. They were the villages. So that was also that time I wasn't born. And then another thing they did was that sometimes we close to the Yangtze River, and in the river sometimes there are dead people floating around. And then so if anybody would go use a particular thing to get the body up and then bury the body, and they could come to get the rewards from the
visit. I see.
And then also they built a temple, a Buddhist temple.
A temple.
Yeah, and the temple is still there. It's very running down. I wish to help build someday. Mm-hmm. So
do you think being Buddhist helped you get through this?
No, we couldn't believe in Buddhist either. It helped my mom. Yeah. And I grew up educated from the society and from the leaders that you don't believe anything. The capitalists use the religion to fool their people.
I see. It was all about Chairman Mao and communism.
Yes. Yeah, Chairman Mao saved China, and this way it was New China, and the Chairman Mao was the real leader, the savior. Chairman Mao is the red sun.
The red sun. I see. So you, with your mom's help, did so much work to take the exams for entrance.
Yes.
What was that like?
It built my literary mind, and so made my mind creative. And then when I spent time preparing myself, only 8 months, I prepared for 7 subjects to take. And the Chinese language part and the composition, I think I took advantage of my mother's education. And then also politics. You have to write, you have to study, and then remember the days, all that you still, anything involving writing, I was good, even though I didn't go to high school. Because of the words, and my mother kept talking to me, I would just use that. And so that kind of helped me.
And so you took the exam, and do you remember taking the exam thinking, I can do this, or this is never going to work, or, I mean, what was the experience sitting and taking your entrance exams?
In my mind, I thought it was impossible for me to succeed. But then I felt that I had that hope. If I just fail, it's automatic failure if I didn't even take the test. So at least I want to take the test. If I fail, and then I feel that with my trying.
That's
and
right.
So there was no clue, and I kind of more felt I wouldn't succeed.
And then how long does it take to get your acceptance letter back? You had to wait a long time or no?
Yes, months. Because
Months.
after you took the test, it's a 3-day test for 7 subjects.
Oh my goodness.
And you have to take Chinese politics, you have to take a history, you have to take a geography, and you have to take a math, you have to take foreign language if you had one. So then my advantage I did was the foreign language because I took English. I learned from A to Z. And then so I took that, and that was the advantage over most other students. Mm-hmm. So then I kind of, and it took a few months to have the score back because it was very severe test, and then national test, and then the result from like very secluded experts to give the scores.
I
so
see.
that no crime involved. No.
Oh, I see. No cheating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
your test paper is transported in a central place of the province.
I see. It was so guarded.
Yes, guarded. Yes.
And do you remember when you got the news that you had been accepted to the university?
No, that was very late. And the first good news you have to see if you reach the bottom line score. I
see.
So when the score, no computer at that time, right? So when your class, when the schools graduating year, and the students, all their test score arrived, right? The school would list all the names and then their score next to the names. And then the news and they reported that what's the basic line.
The minimum.
Bottom minimum line you have to reach. If you, like at that time, if you didn't reach 600 scores, then there is no chance you could go to college.
I see. So you made like the first cut, but
I made it like 630 something, just a little bit above that.
And do you remember that moment when you saw your name?
Yeah, I did. It was on the black black words on a red paper on the wall of the high school. So I found my name, right? And then next to it, it was over 600, the bottom line. And it was just like you felt like you are floating. So then you feel so happy. And then suddenly you start to have fear. But you reach that bottom line doesn't mean they are going to take you because there are other people higher than you. They would take.
Right.
So it's just the continuous anxiety.
Mm-hmm. And there's no cell phones to call your mom and say, guess what? You're never going to believe what happened. You have to wait.
No, there isn't. Yeah. You walk for like 40 miles. Because you didn't have money to take the bus, right? Even like 50 cents is still very expensive. So then you would walk for a day.
Oh my goodness. And how is it for you to talk about this now? Do you still have painful feelings, or is it far enough in the past where the pain is no longer there?
Yeah, the pain still there. Depends on what topic. It could still get you very emotional. But most of the time I feel very grateful to be here, to be now. And this is why I established a nonprofit organization. I would like to share with people good health and then hope, and also inspire them and to enjoy their abundance. Mm-hmm. In America, doesn't matter who you are, you can always make it. You have so much support and just so much abundance. People share and no discriminations. And really we can make it whatever your goal in life. I really want to inspire, especially young people. I heard the young people, they even have depression and things like that. I just wish that I could let them know what I went through. If you had to go through what I went through, now you feel that you are in paradise.
Right, like you won the lottery.
Yes, you won the lottery.
What is the name of the nonprofit that you founded, Margaret?
It's called Life Renewing Center.
Mm-hmm.
I have helped a lot of people with my team, because many of us that we have challenges in health, including myself. And then so now I show them how to overcome with positive view. And so many of them, they changed and they forever with a life, more positive thoughts and as a result, their health improved.
Of course. And it's liferenewingcenter.org?
Yes, yes.
So then you eventually left China after it was legal, and
Yes.
you established a life in California.
Yes.
And you became, of all things, a comedian.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Because I just feel that humor really can change your attitude and make sadness more acceptable. And then when we change our mind, our thoughts, and then the surroundings changing with us. And then at that time I was watching like Jay Leno, the humor.
Jay Leno, yeah.
Yes, and the Roseanne show.
Yes.
And then it was all new to me. And then only thing that I felt very surprised is that they promote kind of the kids very rude. They found it very funny. They like that. I was like questioning about that.
The disrespectful. Yeah.
You know, like I would never ever be rude to my parents,
right.
to anybody elder. Teachers and all that's just even now I carry that. I wouldn't be rude to anybody even.
Right.
So that's something is really a shock to me. But the humor from Jay Leno, and then I watch other stand-up comedians, I start to be so admiring. And then when I'm teaching my healing classes like Tai Chi, Qigong, and then what I say things, the people start to laugh. And also they love my accent. I say wrong things, right? They laugh at it. So then I realized that, hey, I can make it into like a joke.
Yes.
And then so I have the encouragement from my class. I said, hey, why don't you go to the improv? And you can be a comedian. I didn't even know you could do that. They suggested me. I went there. So without even knowing what I was going into.
That's the courage. That's the Margaret courage.
So then when I go to my book club, right? And then they just, when I enter the door, they start to laugh. And I'm just thinking, what are you laughing? I cannot believe it, you are a comedian, because they read the end of the book. I was on the stage. So they just laugh very hard. And even now I talk to people, my accent is still strong and can never get rid of it. And I talk to people and I said, yes, I do stand-up comedy. They would drop everything and their mouth just wide open. You do comedy? And then start to laugh. I don't know if it was funny or they just unbelievable. I just don't know. They just start to laugh already.
And you like being on the stage?
It is very, how to say, it's very... can be very stressful.
Yes.
Because you have to be so right at the timing and the minutes and and I like the how to say, the challenge.
Yes.
It's
Which
not
is
easy.
nothing.
Each
I
time
mean,
is different.
it's not easy, but from where you come from, it must feel, challenge, yes, but not life threatening.
Not a life-threatening challenge. It's different because
Right.
your heart will race, and the audience crowd can be different, and they give you how many minutes different. So you have to be organizing the right. You better not forget, because when you interact with the audience, you may forget your train of thoughts. So
Yes.
a few seconds of silence is like a failure to a
I
comedian on the stage.
My goodness. It's quite unbelievable. And how do you write your material? Do you observe American culture? I think you told me once. What material do you like to use?
Yes, I do observe American culture, and then the idioms. I love American idioms. My first
Ah,
book is here with me still, and I came to USA. I bought that book. I stood in line, a new book store opening. The first 50 people would get $10 to go toward the books, and I bought two books. One is a small dictionary. The other is a American idiom. So
aha.
I still have the idiom book with me even
Mm-hmm.
now, almost 30 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I study that, and then I find inspiration in it,
Mm-hmm.
and also people's conversation. And I listen. I found that it's very funny. I use that. And
Mm-hmm.
the John Kennedy's speech, a famous remark. I
Yes.
use that to be a very funny joke that never fail.
Uh-huh. John Kennedy's. Which one do you like? Which quote?
The one, I would say, as I come home, tell my husband he should follow what President Kennedy said. And my husband asked, what did he say? I said, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your wife.
Very nice. And does he appreciate that joke?
He becomes more humorous after being with me.
I
And
imagine.
he's an engineer, very
Uh-huh.
introvert, a nerd, right?
Ah!
But like
Yes.
after I surprised him, he's like a typical Caucasian American born in Minnesota,
Oh
okay?
my goodness.
And then when we first married, and then so I save everything. I cannot handle anybody wasting water, paper, because I grew up no paper, no books, and so the napkin, he would just use a big napkin and just tap on the lips and then just throw away, right? I
Yes.
thought this is so wasteful, and then I would cut the napkin into 4 pieces and put it on the table. So then he would take only one small piece and look at me. I nod my head, yes, one still, even the 1/4 of a
Yes.
napkin. So he was using that. One time he begged me. He said, could we
Have a
could we
full
use
napkin.
the 1/4 of the napkin? I cut it in the small piece. He
Yeah.
only can use one small at a time, right? And so if I'm around, of course, behind my back, I don't know. And then
He
so one
uses
time
the
he
whole
begged me.
napkin when you're not around. He
That's
cheats.
right. So one time he begged me. He said, Margaret, can we use a regular napkin? And because my uncle is come here.
A special occasion.
Yes, exactly.
My goodness.
So I feel
Margaret.
sorry for him to deal with me.
Margaret, you are a priceless,
Oh,
priceless
thank you,
story.
Nicole. Love your
So
show.
beautiful. I wanted to let our audience know about your book. your award-winning memoir, Really Enough, a true story of tyranny, courage, and comedy. And this book you can buy everywhere?
Yes, on Amazon, on my website.
Mm-hmm. And the website is also Really Enough?
Yes, www.reallyenough.com.
Okay. That is beautiful. I'm going to put that in the show notes for people. And do you have any last words you want to share with our audience before we say goodbye?
Thank you, Nicole, for having me. I'm very thankful for your appreciation of my life story. I want all your audience to know that appreciating this show you have to offer. I never would imagine I grew up in China would have this opportunity to listen good shows like you offer. And also I want everyone out there to appreciate what they have and enjoy the happiness in life.
Oh my goodness. A beautiful human being, Margaret. I'm going to send our audience over to learn more about you and read your beautiful book. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. Good fortune in the pig year. Remember?
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us on Zestful Aging. If you like the podcast, please share with some of your friends. I love to hear from my listeners. Send me an email at NicoleChristina.com. And next week, we're going to be speaking with Marianne Succo, who is a nurse and an author. She's part of the collaboration of All's Authors, and she writes from her own perspective as a nurse about the experience of dementia. And these are fictional books, but they're really beautifully written and have won some lovely prizes. And please consider becoming a patron of the show. You will get access to exclusive bonuses, and you will be part of the Zestful Aging community. Keep us going strong. Go to patreon.com/zestfulaging. See you next time for another episode of Zestful Aging.